Hi guys, today I did something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. I made an Ita bag. And not just an Ita bag, I made an entire bag dedicated to my own original character, and it turned out a lot better than I expected, so let's get into it. For anyone who doesn't know, an Ita bag is a bag with a clear window that you can fill with pictures or merch of your favorite character. Typically people do repeating badges. That seems to be the most Japanese original incarnation of an Ita bag. The name literally comes from the Japanese word painful, either because you like the character so much or because getting repeating badges is generally quite difficult, especially since a lot of Japanese badges come in mystery bags. In order to get 20 or so of the same badge, you have to buy, I don't know, hundreds of these mystery bags or trade or search for them online. And some of these badges do get quite expensive. But anyway, currently I'm not really watching anything, so I thought it would be fun to try and make one of my own character. And yeah, let's see how it goes. I started by designing and drawing my own badges, which is easier said than done. I spent a lot of time looking at examples of anime badges online, and they all had really incredibly detailed backgrounds and little motifs relating to the characters, and I couldn't really come up with anything to put there. So I kind of experimented for a little while, but I'm actually quite glad I didn't overcomplicate it, because the badge press I have makes really tiny badges, and so a lot of the detail would have been lost. You can't even really see any of the detail I did put into it on the final badges, which is fine, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't try to make anything else out of it, because it would have probably looked a bit weird. I experimented with a few different backgrounds and styles before I finally got onto something I was happy with, and then it was time to print. But before we do that, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for the support on my previous video, and welcome to all my new subscribers. I'm really happy that you joined the channel, and I hope you stick around. Thank you again. So, the printing process. I lay out my designs on Google Docs. I know, very professional, very much how you should print photos. I don't actually know what the proper way to do this is, but anyway, Google Docs just feels a bit wrong. And I'll be honest, you could probably do some complex maths to figure out how big the pictures should be, but I decided not to do any of that, so I just matched up my screen to a piece of paper and then matched it up to a badge that I already had. And I was mentally preparing myself for me to have to reprint this, because I had no idea that it would actually turn out the right size, but it did. So I'll take it. While I was motivating myself to get my badge press out of my garage, I decided to do some shopping and actually buy the Ita bag, because yeah, I didn't have a bag like that lying around. So I went on Vinted, and I found this one for £1.50, which is crazy. But after fees and shipping, it ended up being £5, which is, again, really cheap, but I just wish a bit more of that went to the actual seller. But oh well, supporting Royal Mail, I guess. Onto the making of the badges. There's something really satisfying about seeing your digital art printed out, so here it is in all its glory. The sizing came out perfectly, as I said earlier, and so it was just left for me to cut them. I had this spinny thing that was meant for cutting them out, but it went blunt and I couldn't figure out how to replace the blades, so I just had to hand cut them. Also, I'm sorry about the lighting. I did this by the fire because I was really cold and I couldn't be able to turn the lights on for some reason, so yeah, sorry about that. But the vibes were good though. So my success rate with this was pretty solid. Before, when I tried to make badges using this badge press, I kept messing up, but here I only messed up about 4, and including one which I forgot to put the plastic thing on, so it's just matte and I guess not waterproof. I didn't know this at the time, but I ended up with the perfect amount of badges that I needed, which is crazy lucky. Considering, again, I didn't even have the bag yet, so I didn't count anything. The bag arrived very quickly, which I was impressed by, and the strangest thing, it's originally from Shein, but it smelled really good. And my whole little office has had a really specific smell since then, and I don't know if the seller did something to it, but thank you. I swear Shein things have a reputation for smelling really bad, but yeah, I don't know what happened to this bag. So, onto the assembling of the bag. To arrange the badges, I traced the window of the bag onto a piece of paper, and I started planning the layout. Rather than pinning them directly, I just taped them onto the paper, partly because I thought the paper would just disintegrate if I pinned so many badges to it, and I didn't have the like proper fabric-y thing you're meant to have. But I was glad I didn't pin them because I ended up having to move them all up because I spaced them out too much. So I'm glad I didn't decide to pin them. I also decided to make a few extras to add to the bag. Made a little shrink wrap keychain to hang on the outside of the bag. This was my first time working with shrink wrap, working with shrink plastic, and it turned out a lot smaller than I thought. I used like half of the sheet for this, and it turned out super duper tiny, and it came out a bit wonky, but honestly I'm quite happy with it. I was surprised that the watercolor pencils I used didn't smudge when I tried to seal it, so I'll take it. I'm happy. I also made a little rosary, like a ribbon type decoration thing that some people put on their bags. I've seen some people actually sewing these, but I was lazy and I didn't really know how to do the whole ruffle thing, so I thought I'd just use a hot glue gun, and that seemed to work out pretty well. Now, this bit I really struggled with. The bag had another little window, and a lot of Ita bags do have postcards or some kind of like picture cards of the character, so that wasn't the problem, but the problem was me printing something out that would be visible through the shiny window. So at first I tried to just print out one of my drawings on printer paper, and that didn't work at all. I tried to go over it and make it a bit more like, add a bit more contrast to it, but no, it still didn't really look good. I added some stickers to it, it looked even worse. So I decided to use some photo paper. I've never used it with this printer, so I was a bit nervous. And I got it wrong. I didn't put it in upside down, so it printed on the wrong side, and therefore it still hasn't dried after like 3 days. And it doesn't look as good. It looked really strange. So finally, the first time, I got it right. I printed it on the right side, and it looks great, and I'm really happy with it. I did have to trim it a bit more than I thought I would, because the like little flap covered his face, but other than that, it's okay. So this is the final result. I hope you guys like it. I've really enjoyed making it. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time.